Hola, y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do? The outlet to reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to hide from your drama or maybe hide from your baby mama. Just kidding. Pero si tú quieres cambiar tu vida, if you want to change your life, then subscribe. Ching. And by the way, guys, I just published my first book called Shabbat in Chicago. It's out on Amazon. Please check it out. It's about an audacious single mom who opens her heart and home to five adopted kids while embracing her Latino heritage while being Jewish. And guys, today we have a very, very special guest. She's one of the best real estate in the building. Give it up for the one and only Ileana. What's
Thank you. Thank you for such a nice introduction.
I was excited. But look, girl, I want to share a little something, right? So my fans get to know us a little bit more. So I want to share my part, my version on how I met you. So I went to this networking event at Sparkle's beauty bar with Chef Vic, and I see you walking by, like you're trying to figure out where to go. And I said, man, she Latina. I'm gonna go talk to her, and I'll probably get her attention. And I see you, and I say, hey, how you doing? You know what brought you here? And we had like a little chat. Then you introduced me to Jasmine, your best friend, and we just hit it off real well. It was smooth. You got like the photographer; he was loving you, like maybe it was your outfit, your attitude, but he was ching, ching. He took pictures and it was nice. It was nice, and it was crazy because ever since we met that day, I feel like our squad has gotten so tight. También Palmira, like we all are like tight. So I just love it. I love it. So that's my version, like my story, how I met you. But I want to hear your input on what your our first interaction.
Well, I think the only difference is that I was kind of lost at the event, and I saw you, and I think I told you, and I saw you, and I was like, he's Mexican. Let me go talk to him. I think I'm the one that went up to you first because I was like, I'm kind of lost. He looks Mexican. I'm just gonna go talk to him.
Y qué más? What else? What else did you get out of that event? Like, what did you remember that night?
Well, it was a cool event because I got to meet Michael, the photographer. I got to meet Chef Vic a little bit, and then Jasmine was there. And then, of course, we got to meet you. And like you said, we've gone to do a lot of cool things together and talk. And you've got to like get to know some other of our friends like Liz and Noga and other people. But it was a cool event. I liked it. It was a little different. The vibe was a little different, but it was good.
Awesome, awesome. That's wonderful. I'm so happy. Um, Now I do want you to share a little bit about your journey in real estate, right? It's a big thing that you're doing, changing people's lives. And I always see you hustling. Like you are a hard worker, I already know. And I want you to share like, a little bit about your background, what got you make that transition, right? Um, because you used to be, working in the hospital. That's a big shift, right? So if you can, share a little bit, put some, spill the beans, but not the cheese. I mean a lot. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. So I am still a registered nurse. I went to nursing school. I graduated, and then I started working in a hospital in the ICU. After I graduated, I moved to DC and I worked there for a few years. And then once COVID hit, like halfway through, I started doing travel nursing. So I started working in different states, different hospitals. And I've told you this, I'm not gonna lie, I hated it. It was like one of the worst moments in my life. It was just horrible. But and I've told you this before too, like nursing is not my passion. Like I think a lot of people go into nursing thinking it's you're gonna be helping a lot of people, but once you actually hit the job, like start working, you realize that you are really working for companies and corporations and not you're not really working for the patients. So I felt like I wasn't being personally fulfilled in that way. And then I did feel like I would make a difference here and there, but those little moments were not enough for me. I don't know if that sounds wrong or not, but it just wasn't enough for me. And I've always wanted to get into business and create some type of generational wealth. So that's when I decided to go into real estate, specifically into commercial real estate and multifamily syndications. And I started doing that a year ago. And it was great. I learned a lot. I met a lot of people. I think it was kind of like a transition point to get me to where I am right now. It kind of got me out of my shell, because you have to go to a lot of networking events, you have to develop relationships with investors. So I think it was kind of like a transition period for me right now. But right now I'm more focusing on other businesses, and as you know, as with our new baby, the nonprofit organization that me and my girls, and I call them my girls, but me, Jasmine, and Palmira have recently established.
And tell us a little bit about that, because I've been seeing a lot of posts, so I
I
want to know
know.
la noticia. I want to
So
hear about it.
it's our baby. It's our baby. We're really excited. We kind of wanted to create this kind of like a one-stop shop for the people that we're trying to help. So we have a really, really big vision of what we want this nonprofit to look like, right? We want to be able to provide medical services, mental health services, social services, education resources. So instead of kind of helping people to get through the month or to the week, which is not a bad thing, we want to actually give people tools or resources to actually get ahead in life. Like, what do people actually need to improve their lives and get them to where they want to be? So, I'm not saying, that those nonprofits that provide like only one service or only focus on one thing are doing anything wrong, but that's kind of just putting like a band aid on a cut that's not really helping or doing much. We do want to be able to provide kind of like those immediate services, especially for like medical expenses, food, rent assistance, or shelter. But our big focus or our goal is to give people all of the resources that they need to just move ahead.
And that's amazing. I love that you're trying to change people's lives and let them see life different, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's wonderful. And please tell us like a little bit about this gala that's coming up that everyone
Yeah.
is
Oh,
talking about.
how did I forget about the gala? Okay, so we are having a fundraising gala. It's coming up on November 16th. And we are having a fundraising gala, kind of it's our big way of introducing the nonprofit to the community, right? We like to go big. We don't go home. We just go big and say, hey, we want to tell the community, this is who we are. This is what we want to accomplish. But obviously it's a really big task. Like, we want to, like, what we have in mind is something huge. So we need a lot of support from the community. It's not going to happen with just the three of us and whoever else jumps along. For this specific gala, we do want to be able to raise money for like specifically medical and mental health services, which is something that we're seeing a really big need of in the community right now.
Wow, that's beautiful. And I heard you gotta dress up like tuxedo, look fly. That's what I heard, you know. I don't know if that's true, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, the theme is 007. And it is like a gala, so you do have to, you know, put a nice dress on and a tuxedo. So I think it'd be a really fun event to bring people in the community together, across Las Vegas. Las Vegas is such a big place. There's so many people, a lot of new people that we don't know, we haven't met. So I think it'd just be a really cool event to bring everyone together. We're excited. We're really excited.
I love it. I love it. And when is the day that's gonna happen?
No, Thursday. It's a Thursday, November 16th at 6 p.m.
Okay, okay. And my people, if they come, they gonna get fed too, right?
I told you. I've been telling you. Yes.
I, man, you so funny. It's so funny for those who don't. Me and my girl right here, we talked on the phone last night, and we were cracking up. She was making me laugh, and it was so nice because we were, talking about the podcast and the gala. So it was just so nice to hear your voice, and you just gave me a lot of inspiration. I love it. I love it. Now, look, girl, I do want to share this, right? You are one of the only person I have ever asked on the podcast because you actually went. So for those who don't know, I had my first book event in Vegas. And the people that were sponsoring it, who provided the food and drinks, who allowed me use their home, was the Moishe House, a Jewish organization, and it was an honor for me to be the first Latino Jew to ever be like the host and guest speaker for the event. So I thought I was already changing history, and I want to hear your like point of view of that day because I was talking to everybody, and I was all over the place, making sure everybody was good. So I want to hear your perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, first of all, David, what did I say when you sent me the event flyer? I was like, the address is in California. I was like, what do you mean? Because it said Boyser House, so that's what I Googled, and it took me to a location in California. But anyways, excuse my ignorance. No, but it was a really cool event. I was really proud of you, especially when you had your speech. I think you did great. I know you said you were a little bit nervous, but I think you did great, and I could see the support of your community, which was beautiful. I had fun. I had a really good time.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, I feel it right here. Thank you. I think one funny moment we had together was you're eating the taco, right? And you asked me, David, is the taco gluten free? And I go, nah, it's kosher. You're like, that's not my question. And then
I
I was
said two different things.
yeah, two different things. You're like, está confundido, you confused. And I'm like, no, girl, for real, it's kosher, but I don't know if it's gluten free. You know what I'm saying? And you're like at the last bit of the piece of the taco, you know what I'm saying? And it was like the funniest thing because it was like between us, we laughed it out, hugged it out, but it was just like a funny moment that you and I would never forget to this day. Like I will never forget to this day. I think that another way that brought us closer. I'm like, girl, you good? You good? You're like, I'm good. I'm good. Okay, all right, all right.
Yeah, because you were even explaining to me like the whole kosher process, and I
Yeah.
was like, that does not make it gluten-free, David.
Oh
Yeah, no,
man.
but it was a good event. We had fun.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. I also one thing I do want to share one of my favorite memories with you is when we went to Cassie Beach House and it was all of us, you, Palmira. It was for her birthday surprise party for her, and we had Jasmine, Liz, and your other friend. I forgot her name.
No guy.
Yes, yes. And so there, and it was just so nice. We were laughing, uh having a drink. It was just like a nice time, but I felt like that moment, that's when we got like more closer. Because I've hung out with you. We went to a basketball game with the squad, but I never had like outside of like, like a game or an event. This was like we don't have to worry about anybody interrupting us. We don't have to network this day. This is the day we get to
Hmm.
relax. So it was a nice a moment, and I do feel like we
Hmm.
all got closer from that night.
Yeah, it was a good night. We had a good time. We got to take some really good pictures. But yeah, just the conversations were good, and it was a really comfortable environment.
Right,
It
right.
was fun.
I see you. You were posing. You're like, hey, you know what I'm
I
saying?
know, I know, I know.
Oh man, that's amazing, girl. And now I wanted to ask you, did you ever I have to ask this question, but did you ever finish my book?
I did. What do
You
you
did.
mean?
Oh,
That kind of offends me. Of
I'm
course, I
sorry.
finished your book.
I had to ask because you're always traveling, you're busy. So I had to ask. I remember signing it, I'll tell you that. But I just had to ask. And now you made me really happy. Like really happy. Now, please, please tell me. I would love to, if I could pick at your brain. What
Yeah.
stood out the most in that book that you could like that came in your head when you were reading?
I think it was the relationship with your dad, because I think you and I have talked a little bit about that, but we never got into detail. And it's not until I read the book that I realized how absent he was in your life. So I think learning about that just stood out to me. And there was one part in the book where you, I think, I don't know if it was the time when you got really mad and like you realized that you wanted therapy, or you were talking to a rabbi. Did I say it right?
Yeah, yeah, you said right.
And you said something about wanting to honor your dad, and he said you are honoring him by respecting his decision of not being a big part of your life, right? Because I feel like a lot of times we want to honor people and we want to do it in like this big happy way to make them proud. But I think like what he said was so true, because that's you taking care of yourself as well and honoring his wishes.
Right.
So that's the part of the book that I really like, because I feel like it taught me something too. Like just respecting people's decisions is honoring them, whether they're good or bad decisions, you know?
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh, you hit a good one. Ooh, I got the chills. I got the chills. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. That is one of the most powerful chapters in the book. Like, it was so hard for me to write that part, and I try to tell people that, growing up, being a young boy, we try to search for that, like having that father figure, having someone to look up to. And when you don't have your father in your life, big, big, it's a disappointment, because you want to show them all the things you have accomplished. Um, you want them to be a part of that circle, right? Part of those moments, graduation, if you had your first relationship, whatever it is, but you want your father to be there. So when I wrote that book, it was very, yeah, that's a very hard one. I still remember the conversation like yesterday when I told the rabbi, and I was so, and it made sense. I have to focus what's in front of me. Like my mom, she was there, she's always gonna be there, and I live with her, at the time. So I have to kind of switch my direction, and just focus on her. And I think that helped me grow. Um, having therapy, that's another thing. I'm always an advocate for that because, you know, I can tell a friend my problems. No, they're gonna be biased because they're part of my life. They're my same team, right? But when you talk to a therapist, they're not biased. They would definitely kind of ask
Mm-hmm.
different questions and try to find a way for you to figure it out yourself in the way they ask. It's kind of weird, but I like it. And I don't feel like I'm being judged. I just feel free. And yeah, that's a beautiful thing. I'm so happy you share that part. That's that was and what about now that you read the whole thing, what if there's more that you want to see in the book, what would it be?
I think, honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I want to see your mom's book from her perspective.
Oh, oh,
You know, like I want to see what she has to say about everything that she went through in her life and her view on things, her voice.
ooh.
So tell her to write that book.
I love that. You know what? You're the first person that actually said that. I love this. This is probably the most beautiful answer. I've gotten like so many different responses like, dude, like you did awesome, like totally, it was great. And that's all they gave me. I was like, bro, this does not help me what I could do better. And then like, or what I can have for the second book. And I really appreciate that feedback. That's a big help. So, oh, you made my, the end is beautiful because if you hear it from her perspective, she will get into more details and more deeper stuff that we won't. Me as a son, I can only share what I witnessed, right? But her being
Mhm.
married to my father, different, angle,
Yeah, yeah. I think just from reading your book, you can tell that your mom had a way different experience than you had. You know, so I think it'd just be interesting to see everything from her point of view. And then what you I don't know if I told you, but I love Ed Milet. And I was just listening to one of his episodes the other day from his podcast, and he was saying like what a beautiful thing it is to like record your life in a way, right? Whether it be in a podcast or videos, and not everyone gets to do that, but you were able to capture that for your mom in a book. And I don't know, I just think it's such a beautiful way because at the end of the day, all you take with you is memories. But if you're able to leave something, or if you're able to look at something at your whole life, either written or in a video, towards the end of your life, like how beautiful is that? So if she could get the opportunity to write a book, because from what I read, is what she wanted, right? Like she did write some of it. Um, I think it would be a really cool experience to see everything from her perspective.
Ooh, ooh, I gotta snap my fingers because that was amazing. That's amazing. I really love that. One thing that really made me write this book too was to like something my rabbi says to like one of the last pages of the book is that it's one of the greatest gift a child can give to their parents. And you can pass this to generation. So like me, I'm thinking like when I get married, right? And I have my kids, I got my little mini me's. They're all in the chairs. I probably got 5 kids, but they're all sitting down trying to reach the table. And I say, all right, guys, it's Shabbat. We're doing our ceremony, our ritual, our tradition. And I said, okay, today we're gonna read one chapter of Shabbat in Chicago. And I think it'll be like a family tradition. So like every week, because Shabbat's every week, we read a chapter. And then once we finish the entire book, we basically have a nice big feast because the whole family
Mhm.
finished it. And I think that my kids, when they see that, they're gonna want to replicate that and do the same when they have kids. Like, hey, grandpa used to do this with us. Um, so we're gonna do it too. And that's for me, that's beautiful because I see, look, I'm gonna be honest. I see my rabbis, one of my rabbis, closest one, who I actually quote on the book, Rabbi Fromowitz, he has 7 daughters. And for every Shabbat, he reads something in the book about something in the Torah or about has to do with Shabbat. And it's a beautiful, like little short story he reads. And he'll have a question at the end for anybody to answer. And it's nice because we all, in a way, have fun trying to figure out this question like, what's the answer in our perspective? And he already knows the answer. But it's nice because we use our brain and we're just like, we're in the moment. It's just so cute. And I never had a father that did that. So when I see that, I was like, man, that's just beautiful. So it made me I want to do something like
Mhm.
that on Shabbat. But like, I say, hey kids. I'll be like, hey, honey, it's okay. You don't have to move around. This is gonna be, you can sit with me, babe. I let the queen sit with me. And I think it's just so cute. I could just picture it, but I had to share that.
No, yeah, that's actually a really cool idea. Like to like finish a book together as a family, like read a chapter each night. That's pretty cool.
Thank you. See, I try to be creative. Oh man, thank you, girl. Thank you. I'm so happy. Like this is You have to be one of my favorite guests to have because it's just, I love your energy. I love that you're so positive. I think that, you know, they said the way you want to be is you always want to be with people that have the same vibe, the same energy, because that's the only way you're really gonna like be in that kind of like state of mind, right? If you're with negative people that only do like drugs or whatever, you're gonna be doing the same thing, and then you're not really going anywhere in life. But if you're with people that are ambitious, like hardworking people, and they're always thinking positive, thinking, what can I do, to do better, to grow. That's who I want to surround myself with. So I definitely, that's why I have you, in my life. Now, I do want to ask you something I think I never figure out. How did you meet Jasmine? I want to know, how did she become your bestie, and tell us the story that we all want to know.
We actually met at a real estate like meetup networking events. You see the magic of networking event. That's how we met too. But I think it was our anniversary is sometime in February. So in February will be a year into our friendship. But honestly, I just heard her talking really loud in Spanish. And I approached her and I was like, "Hi, you speak Spanish? I'm Ileana." And then since then, I mean, I think we exchanged numbers, but we didn't talk for a while. And then I don't know what got us texting. We just started texting, and then we just started going to networking events together. And then, yeah, we just became like really good friends, like nonstop talking all the time. We talk and text 24/7.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't really know how it happened. I don't. We were actually talking about that the other day. Like, how did we just start texting each other? I was like, I don't know. Like, we exchanged each other's phone numbers. We didn't talk for a while. And then randomly, one of us texted each other. And then we just went everywhere together since then.
Whoa. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's amazing what, like you said, networking can do.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. It was meant to be, but yeah, networking is a great way to meet people that have the same values and work ethic, and I just want to get ahead in life or do better things. It's just the best way to do it to meet those kind of people.
I love it. I love it. Now to wrap it up, right? I want you to, if you can share like an advice for us, right? For young people that want to get into real estate, what would it be?
I think I'm just gonna get back to networking. Whether you want to get into real estate or whatever other career you want to go into, whatever business type you're interested in or attracted to, or even if you're in school, right? Like if you're in school to go to med school or to be a lawyer or for whatever else you're in school, you need to network. You need to go and mingle with people that are doing what you want to do, that are doing things much bigger than you are, that are smarter than you, that have a lot of experience. That's what you need to do for any type of business, not just real estate.
Wow. I like it. I like it, girl. That was deep. That was deep. Now look, I'm about to wrap it up, guys. This is the Outlet to Reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago every Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching. And y'all know where to find my book. It's Shabbat in Chicago out on Amazon. Please check it out. And also on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, the Outlet to Reality. My Snapchat is Take One Pass It. And my TikTok is at Yaakov28. And Bestie, where can my fans find you?
You can find me on Instagram. Just search my name. Are you gonna tag me?
I,
Ileana. And then my other two last names are long, so just tag me.
I got you. I got you. I'll put it in. I'll put it in. Ting.
And join us at the gala. I better see you there, David.
I'm gonna try my best, girl. You know what I'm saying?